Thanks, guys, for coming back to Austin City Limits. It's hard to believe it's been 6 years since the first time you set foot on our stage.
We're very happy to be back. Time's moved so fast, but we still feel just as excited about playing it as ever. Well, the name of our record, Milo Xyloto or Milo Xyloto, whatever you want to call it, it does, I agree, seem ridiculous at the moment, but so do all new words, I think, when they first... We just wanted to give ourselves a fresh start, and we felt like, okay, let's invent some words.
Let's have something new that doesn't mean anything else. When you put it into whatever search engine you're using, that only one thing comes up.
Like Snickers. Can you imagine when someone said, hey, I've got this peanut chocolate thing, and it's called Snickers? People would be like, what? That's ridiculous. It's very similar.
Well, we started making this record pretty much immediately after releasing our last album, and Brian Eno wrote us a letter and said, what we've done is pretty good, but I think we can do better. We can go further and push ourselves more. And so we went straight back into the studio, and I don't know, difficult isn't really the right word, I don't think. It's
very focused. We've been very driven this time because we're coming up to our early 30s, if you see what I mean. Approaching mid-30s, and all of our favourite bands had done something really great by then. So we felt very driven and very sort of fired up to put everything we had into our new project. Yeah, I mean, the changes in our world and the changes in the outside world they all, you know, have an immediate effect on what we're doing lyrically and musically. I think we feel maybe because we have kids now as well, all of us, there's a sort of extra desperation and sort of life that we try to put into our music as a sort of call to arms for ourselves and a way of trying to make sense of all the craziness. I think a lot of the change is just to the fact that the news is so all-encompassing all the time that it makes it seem like things are much worse when maybe they're just kind of, they've always been terrible. Do you know what I mean?
It's just a bit louder.
There was
now.
just less coverage in the Stone Age on 24-hour news.
Well, I think the most important thing to us is the chemistry between us as a band. I think we're not the best musicians in the world by any stretch of the imagination, but what we do have that is unique is we have each other, and no one else can have that. So we feel very lucky to have each other. Yeah, I feel
That's
very
it.
grateful.
Me too, man. Yeah, we if that changed, we would stop. You know, we'd have to.
Seriously?
Well, 100%. At most great bands go terrible if they change. Well, if they change their socks almost. You have to. What you've been given is what you should. Also, bands now are quite a rare breed, and we have so much history to look at of other bands about where they ended or where they stopped being good, and it's often to do with kicking out the bass player or, you know what I mean? Or messing up the chemistry, and we don't want to do that. We are not the world's best smelling band.
Okay.
I agree. Destiny's Child would probably be number one. I'd say we're down there with Dave Matthews and all those guys in terms of groups of men who can't stop sweating. It's embarrassing, but you've got to give your all on stage.
If you don't work up a sweat, then there's something wrong.
If you don't work up a sweat, then people should get their money back. I feel like in the old days, as in the 60s, 70s, bands were on such a pedestal, and it was very easy to be mythologically rock and roll because there was so much mystery. And you could kind of do a great record and then do a not so good one, and people would forgive you that. And maybe I feel like now everything moves so fast in the world, and there is no mystery really because of constant access and the internet and everything, that you have to always start from scratch with any new music, because Otherwise, you'd just be out noised by something else. I think when the Beatles were around, there wasn't that much other stuff to do in terms of listening or movies or. Am I out of line here?
No.
So I feel like with every song we do, we have to kind of climb the mountain again.
I think we feel like this is so fragile and so important to us that kind of holding anything back for, saving songs, saving ideas is pointless. It means that whatever you're doing now is not going to be as good as it could be. So we just throw everything at the moment.
With the way music is moving at the moment, if you're in a band, you're lucky to have your job, day to day. So that's how we're thinking.